아직도 난 여기 흐릿하게 더 희미하게 나의 아니 자주 난 어제 일처럼 선명하게 나의 너의 흔적 없이 말리는 것 같아 일상 속에도 번져 그 색깔이 바래져서 떠났지만
Hello babe, welcome to my daily vlog. My name is TK Hlongwane, full name Tsakani Hlongwane. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new, welcome. I hope you will enjoy your stay here. If you're a regular, thank you for your loyalty. I appreciate it so much. This is a beauty and wellness channel with a little bit of lifestyle. All right, so today we are continuing on day 2 of Atlantis super challenge for YouTubers to get our watch hours up to scratch. So right now so yesterday actually we did a video on why I started my YouTube channel, and it's been well received. I posted it last night after 10, and I'm so grateful that already some of you, as soon as I posted, you engaged and you watched and everything like that. So I really appreciate it because you didn't see it coming. So big deal. The funniest thing about yesterday though is yesterday, so one of you guys, what's her name, I forgot now, one of my subscribers on one of my shorts, she was like, oh no, my brother needs to see this video, you need to be our makoti. Her brother, I think, is Dr. Wanele or Wandile Mtombeni, if I remember well. It made my day. You guys are so hilarious. Well, I hope your brother does see it, and I hope your brother is a cool guy, Guys can't be recommending me to people who are right, okay? Anyway, so today on this channel, we are doing this next theme. The next theme is all about finances, which is a very sensitive, emotional, tricky, powerful, hectic, whatever description you can give to finances, right? Very, very tricky. And I want to talk about it in a sense that regarding business and divorce, those two things have taken money away from me, okay? Divorce and business. I mean, sure. Yeah, I don't know how to even start this conversation regarding that, but also to mention that there was a time in my life that I was in debt, and we'll also talk about how I became debt-free at some point. I'm not right now, but at some point I was debt-free, which was an amazing experience and everything like that. But yeah, that is what you can look out for today. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys all about it. I hope you'll join me in this day. What makes this day even more interesting regarding this topic? So if you've been here before, you know that I've tried to go to, like, I'm divorced, right? It was finalized last July, and I didn't know that I had to go and sort out like my marital status at the Home Affairs, even though I am divorced. So they make you really work hard. I feel like being divorced is so expensive for women, and being married, because changing our surnames and now rechanging it, just a lot of work. So I'm going back again. If you remember the last time I went, I had gone in December to give in my decree of divorce so that they could change the stuff up. They didn't. I went back in March and found out they hadn't. And they said, no, they're going to do it this time. It shouldn't take that long. And it shouldn't have taken long in the first place. So I'm only having time today again to go and do this. But yeah, we're gonna go into detail about that later. So do you join me? Just doing simple makeup. I'm not gonna wear foundation today. Yeah, I don't want to, because after this I want to go to the gym. So I don't want like a heavy look happening and then having to remove my makeup and all of that jazz. So let's complete my makeup together.
I just wanna be with you right now. 너의 기억 속에 남아서 I just wanna be with you, babe. I just 남겨진 향기 가끔 내 방안을 채워도 여기저기에 숨어 있어 내 맘 곳곳에서 yeah. 너의 때때로 먼지 덮인 그 잔들이 시간을 멈춰 떠났지만 여전히 머물러 날 잡아주는 너 다가가도 멀게만 느껴져 Just wanna be with you right now 너의 기억 속에 남아서 I just wanna be remembered 너의 잔상 속에 살면서 oh yeah I just wanna be with you right 너의 기억 속에 남아서 I just wanna be with you babe I just wanna be with you
Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna get dressed now and then yeah, we'll go to Home Affairs together. See you.
I just wanna be with you 선명하게 나의
Hey babe, so I just got to Home Affairs. I haven't gone in yet. I'm still just getting the courage to go in and to, you know, receive whatever I'm gonna get, whether it's long queues, but they've improved. It's not so bad. I mean, the last few times I've been here, I've seen a lot of order. Anyway, but I can imagine there's a lot of people because it was not that easy to find parking. Anyway, so let's talk about my story. So in 2012, November, I decided to leave my current job, so I've come back to it, to pursue business. And I did this with a friend of mine that you guys know on this channel already, Ayanda. And it was a challenging time, you know. I took out a loan for business, which I do not suggest unless your business is already live and kicking. Took out a business loan, 100,000, yeah, to start the business. Her ex-husband helped her with the money, you know. I had to go to the bank and everything like that. Okay, no problem. Already in that first year, okay, so November, December we open, January 2013 we start. Well, we were not getting an income for that year because it was, you know, running a salon, a hair and beauty salon is a very expensive business because you use a lot of consumables, like a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's not just service, it's product oriented kind of business. So you're always selling, you know, you're always using things, you've got staff is very unreliable. It was tricky business. Whoever loves being in the beauty industry as in salons, whoa, and has made it happen, I really applaud you, you know, because there's a lot of loss. It's almost like the restaurant industry because there's a lot of wastage in it as well, you know, and just unreliable staff and everything like that. But, you know, I learned, I survived it, as in I didn't die. But during that time of not getting income, so I was relying on my, what is this thing? On my, getting this thing that you get paid out. Why have I forgotten what this thing is called? I'll remember the name and put it up here. If it comes back, I'll let you guys know. So that is how I survived that year and everything like that. And it was really difficult, became worse. I remember there was a time that I started being, behind with my rent payments. From rent payments being behind a couple of months, they were okay with it. My sister helped me at some point, and then I started getting threats. I remember every time I would leave to go to the salon, there was a day that I asked Ayanda to fetch me because I wasn't driving there at the time. And I just had this knot in my, every day actually, knot in my stomach that I'm going to get home and not be able to open my door. I had never experienced anything like that, but it happened. So one day I'm at home. Luckily, did it on the day I was home. And sure, this guy knocked at my door, very this kind of ugly sound and everything like that. And I was like, whoa, what's happening? He's like, ma'am, you've got 15 minutes to pack everything that you can. We are locking this house because you are behind in payments. This was a fully furnished home. Fully furnished, right? I mean, sure, years and years of accumulation and beautiful clothes and stuff. I don't know, my level of faith sometimes is dodgy because I had so much faith that I would be back, something would happen, because God always came through for me. So I didn't think that anything would happen. I thought, okay, I'm gonna go home to my parents in my Melody, and then in a day or two I'll be back. So I took I think I had candle, the reading thing without the battery. I had a few, I think 5 items. Yeah, I had 5 items of clothes to change. My toiletries, not even detailed stuff. I didn't take makeup with me because I had some makeup at the salon as well. So, it wasn't a thing. That's all I left with. And that was the last time I was at that house, because then, couldn't go back. The things that are in there were not even worth the amount I was owing. I think I was owing 20-something thousand rand, and obviously the things in my house were worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands. I'm not even joking, because it's years of putting things together. My makeup kit alone was at least 50 to 60,000 worth, because I've been in the industry for long. My laptop that I just bought, yeah. Oh, and I had my iPad with me, luckily, and everything. So that was that, and I ended up staying by my parents' house for about 3 weeks. Then left to stay with my sister. Stayed with my sister for about 5 years. So in 2014, that's where I went to live with my sister. End of 2014, closed the business. My friend, who was the main person, as in she's the hairstylist, and most people were coming to her. There's that year she became sick and less people started coming. I made more money on a time when I'd go to do a wedding makeup, where you find that I come back at 10 o'clock and I've made a lot of money, and the whatever I've made is basically more than what the salon would have done for the day. You find that my makeup jobs were paying the staff, really. So we closed down our business end of 2014. Then so I had this big debt over the years, that 100,000, remember, that I started paying for, but it was coming from my the whatever we get from work. I can't believe that this word is I'm forgetting it. Anyway, whatever that word is, where you get your payout at end of your work career and everything. And after that, then started doing more freelance, work with my makeup and beauty, luckily. So I reestablished my business, now call it Saseka Beauty and Wellness. We were at the time Dazzling Swan, so I did my own thing. It was alright. Started lecturing makeup at Lysoft, now it's called Stadio, and that was my 4-year part-time lecturing career. My sister opened a business in 2015 at the airport, which is still standing, and with my retail experience, I was able to help out to manage the business for a year, and basically that became my life, trying different things. That's where my radio career went as well, where I started doing radio. I really explored. I did business training. People paid me to train them, to help them with meals, to actually go to their houses and help them exercise. So I'm so grateful that period really helped me to explore all my other talents and everything like that. 2018 happened, life happened personally, and I decided to go back to the full-time employment. I was married at the time, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to full-time employment. Let me try two things. So I know I've got experience in beauty and retail, so I'm gonna try. I knew someone who worked for Woolworths, and obviously I had connection in my previous company, well, my current. So I applied for both jobs. Woolworths came first, and I became a cosmetic manager for, what's this place? For Woolworths Mall of Africa. And I was there for a month, basically for 2 weeks really, because I served my 2 weeks notice to go now back to Mac, which was so great. Now I was able to get my car, a better car, you know, and then I gave my helper my previous car, and then I used my company car, which was lovely, petrol and all of that sorted and everything. So now then I started actively paying towards that debt that I had of like 100k, and because I was not paying the required amount, it just kept, you know, accumulating. So it felt like I was starting from scratch, you know. So it became my new focus that I want to get rid of this debt. 2020 happens. During COVID or the pandemic, I leave my marital home, and I had to start from scratch again now at my own place in June. Found my own place, had to start from scratch. This is where I say, you know, business and divorce are very expensive. So with business, obviously I had to pay for this, but with divorce, I left with nothing, had to start from scratch. You know, starting from scratch is very painful. You know, there's people who say, why don't you go there with the police and demand your things that you bought for yourself and everything like that. And you know what? I thought to myself, the energy, I don't want to carry that kind of energy into my new home. So start from scratch, like from a new bed, everything, you know, from the very, very, very beginning and everything like that. So you can imagine it's now been 3 years that I've been away from my marital home, and a year that I've been officially divorced. And I look back and I'm like, whoa, you know, in the same year that I got divorced, I was like, okay, I am gonna work towards making sure that I'm out of debt with this business loan that I had taken all those years back that I was still paying for. So I started checking, like I'd call them now and then to find out, you know, how much would I need to pay if I paid off everything. And you know that thing that if, for instance, your debt is like 50,000 and you still have your monthly installments, right? But if you decide that you're going to pay it once off, they will reduce it, which they did, which really helped me a lot. And I was able to pay that amount. I think it was 20 or 40,000 rand. How much was it? Something like that. And I paid that off during my like bonus times. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything nice for myself. Let me just sort this out. It was the best feeling ever. I felt so more focused now that I wasn't married to just get this out of my way. I actually paid more. It's so funny. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about, guys, about. Because there's an assumption that when you have a spouse, and I must say, credit to my ex-husband, he was a provider full on, like proud Zulu man provide, you know, and everything like that. So all the other things that I did with my money was to help out the family. And we had extended family. So he has his children, and his mom also stayed with us at some point. And so I helped out in that sense, voluntarily, you know, not being asked to do it. You know, you can't be sitting with people and not be doing stuff, you know, and everything. So that was my vibe. And after, I remember when I left the house, I thought I wouldn't survive. I actually thought financially I wasn't going to survive, because I was like, how? On my own, if, you know, I was just okay when I was married. And it's amazing because my focus was different. And then I realized where my money was going when I was married, you know. So getting rid of those things, well, because I was no longer in that marital home already, I wasn't having all those expenses, and I could just focus on myself, which worked out very well. But also my determination to sort out my debt was because I was getting rejected on so many things. Like even when I looked for my place, I just thank God, because it was God's grace that I had someone, the agency was like, kept pushing for me, because they were like, no, they didn't want me on their list, you know, to rent and everything, because I've got bad history from one thing. Everything else in my life, I've always been on time. That one thing messed me up, you know, and everything like that. So I just thank God, because I saw God in my life at that time where I would be denied. God used someone so that, you know, I could have a safe, beautiful home to stay in and everything like that. So I really want to get rid of the debt and start working towards, you know, having good credit. And one of the things that really stood out for me during that time is like, you know, rejection is so painful, guys. like applying for something and people seeing that you can't be touched. You know you're a good payer, but you just had that period in your life that was so tricky. And then also that meant there was that same year on 2020. 2020 was rough. Hey, then my car, my car. What do they call it? My company car lease ended. So as the company, they decided they're not going to give us company cars anymore. They'll just give us car allowances. So then it stopped. I think it was July of 2020. Now I had to go and look for a car. Again, got rejected. Then I started Googling to see, searching online to see what other ways to do it. And I found this company called Mad Rent. That company saved my life. And I know there's a few like that. I think I suggested if you are going through a difficult time and you need a mode of transport. So what I did in that year, how it works is that they have basic cars like your Polos and mostly VWs, your Polo, even my current car, the T-Cross or whatever. And why am I losing my train of thought? Then you pay a lump sum, not a lump sum, a deposit, right? And then after that, you pay more than what you would have paid on your normal installment. So if your normal installment for a car like that would have been, 5,000, you'd probably 7,000. What it covers is everything. So you still go for your normal services. If you have any, they pay for your insurance. They literally sort out everything, license renewals and everything. They take care of everything. However, you just have that year where you are paying for this car and everything like that. I thank God for that because I was able to breathe. Yes, it was a huge amount, but I was able to breathe and get around and everything like that. And I was like, okay, that is sorted. Then last year, we're good now, we're ready to go back into the market. And then I started shopping for my car. And also it was tricky for people to give me credits. I had a few banks that declined me. I could have easily gone back to Med Rent and then increased the lease for this car for another year. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to need good credit. And being on this lease is not helping me. So fine. All the banks rejected me except for ABSA, but they said I'm a risk. And then they gave me a very high interest rate, which was not cool. It's painful, right? But when I think of, for me, I'm like, you know what? A year ago, before last year, I wouldn't have been able to be in the situation where a bank is even able to give me a chance. And for that, I'm grateful. And looking now that my credit score is getting better and better. Actually, my manager the other day told me about this app, which I've downloaded. I'll put a picture of it. It's called Clear Score. I know, you can, the banks like NetBank gives you monthly what your credit score is and everything like that. And you have that other company as well that has TransUnion or whatever. This app is so amazing because more than anything else, it's also able to tell you your credit score, but also from where you are staying, your area, where you are ranging for your credit score, and also in the country. And I must tell you, I'm so proud of myself. I'm higher than people in my area, okay? And I stay in the east of Joburg, and I'm higher than national. When my manager told me, she stays in the north of Joburg, and my people in my area are actually higher in their score than people in the north of Joburg. And our perception generally is that people in the north of Joburg have more money than you would think someone in the east of Joburg, But I love watching that and seeing, everything it tells me, like it's got my whole credit history, how I'm doing, and everything like that. So I suggest that you get that app. It's really so insightful and everything like that. Yeah, so that has been my journey. Yes, I'm no longer credit debt free in the last year, because now that I got this car that I absolutely love. I love my car. I'm so happy every time I look at it because it's a testimony of what God has helped me through, and everything. And also now with the divorce, and hopefully now the decree will say that I'm actually divorced or single, just not married. It will help for other things. And nothing worse when you apply for something and they say, oh, you've put down yourself as a Miss Hlongwane, but you're still Mrs. so and so. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I am divorced, and now you have to give decree of divorce and everything like that. So yeah, let's go in and see what is next. But yeah, basically that is my financial story, and then maybe later we'll talk about my current state. Alrighty, cool stuff. So I'm finally back home. I went to Home Affairs, chaotic and everything. Gave them my papers again for the third time, and the guy went on his computer and again said to me, I'm still married. I've been officially divorced from last year July, so this is a year where I'm officially divorced according to my understanding and the decree of divorce that I have. But according to Home Affairs, I'm still married. I really don't understand how these systems don't work together in the old government systems, you know. So you go to the divorce court. They go all through all that paperwork and keep the information to themselves, right? And then you get told that, no, you're still married. So you go and try to sort it out yourself at Home Affairs. This is my third time. I fought tears today, even the last time, because it's frustrating. There's better things to be doing than to be doing this, to be standing in queues, you know, Home Affairs. And the area where I do, this happens, where you check your marital status, is the same place where marriages, deaths, and babies are registered. So it's so busy, that area, you know. You know, the last time I was upset, it was upset, incompetencies and everything. This time it's more hurt. It feels like, ooh, the pain of everything that I went through in marriage, in the divorce process and everything like that is being revisited. And you think you're okay, you know, that's why I say to people all the time, with anything that happens in your life, healing is a lifelong thing. It's not, you don't get to a destination where healing is concerned. And things like this, where you think you're cool, just remind you of this whole process and how tedious it is. I don't know if men go through this as well, and I only know life through a female perspective. And we change our surnames. Actually, the government changes your surname for you. That's what I learned. If you married and community property and everything, without you going through that, they just make that decision for you. Even though I've never used really my husband's surname, but documents have come up with that now, because according to the government, I am whoever the Mrs. I was before when I was married. I'm hurt. I'm really hurt. When I say marriage, divorce is expensive, that's what I mean. Expense of time, you know, resources. And you know, when I was standing in the queue now, the guy said I must take the forms to the cashier. And I just looked as I was sitting there, that I, oh my goodness, I brought the original document. I do know I've got a copy here, but I gave in my original document, and I don't have the energy to say, okay, let me go to post, what do you call it, to you know, a place to make copies and make copies of this. I'm like at the point where I don't care. And this I don't care is gonna be short-lived, because I need to fix this, you know. So the guy that I found today sat with me and was emailing someone, you know, just looking at someone emailing, says, yeah, I want to show it to you, we're doing it. I don't know what happened the last time. I've heard this before. Let's email to this person. And he was emailing, and this guy, you know, I'm looking at him, the spelling, how he writes an email. But it's who's writing an email addressing to someone who's probably their superior, and it's in small letters. Good afternoon, Geneva. This is the person, Geneva Piri, apparently. I hope it's not a relative of yours. Jennifer Piri, good morning. All small letters in the same way. Day. You know how you usually write, you said, good days, mang mang. Next line you will have, please see attached. That no. For him, all of that, the good morning and please see attached, and my whole story was all in one line, saying that I'm here for the third time and everything. Then there's a guy who came who looked like a manager and was also surprised it's taking so long. But nobody can tell me what could be like. What are the processes that you cannot see where things went wrong? Do you understand? Like, I don't understand. For me, it's like, okay, I bring in documents. You open a file or a report or something. Is it manual? If it's manual, where do you put all the forms that need to still be completed? If it's email, where is your email receipt to show that you've done this? Like, I'm so confused about this whole process. Anyway, this guy gave me a number, so at least I don't have faith, unfortunately, right now, but he gave me a number, said I must call tomorrow between like after lunch by 3 o'clock so that it's an office line, and I must just follow up and find out if everything has been sorted. I don't have faith, you know, because my thing is like, I'm gonna call, are they gonna answer? Like, I don't know, you know, and then I'm gonna be on the line while they look for these documents? Like, I don't understand. Is it a quicker process when you call versus when you're there? And if they don't get it right tomorrow, then guys, I need help in terms of where do I complain about something like this. I hate that I'm getting so emotional, but it's frustrating. And that's why when I tell people that I have no desire to be married again, they think it's coming from a place of I'm just being like, I don't believe in love. I do believe in love. And I know I will be with someone that I absolutely adore one day again. But the process in marriage, the lobola, the families, the divorce, everything is just, it takes so much of my energy that I do not like. And I don't want to be part of it. Anyway, so that is that. Oh, excuse me. I don't like this. I hate crying and not cool on camera. But this is my current reality. The good news or the funny thing is that as I was leaving, so Home Affairs is next to ABSA, and this security from ABSA, it was like, oh, you look so beautiful. And then he says to me, look, shata. There's no one who's more confident like Zulu men and securities. Then I look at him, then he's like, Puya sizokhuluma. You know what? I was like, God, you're funny. I'm here to sort out my decree of divorce. This is a guy who's proposing marriage. We know it's not the real thing, but I mean, we need to find humor in this thing called life. But also, while I was in the queues in Home Affairs, as I was about to leave, my nephew calls me, check if I'm home. I'm like, no, I'm not. He says, oh, I wanted to bring you your cheesecake because I know my sister had said on Sunday that they're going to bring me cheesecake, but it didn't happen. So I think after a gym, I'm going to definitely fetch my cheesecake. We'll eat it together, guys. You know, like I need to feed my hurt and my pain through the cheesecake. I'll have coffee as well when I'm done with gym. So yeah, let's go to gym together. But I think I've covered everything. The last thing I want to talk about is where I am with my finances right now. And I think we'll do that later. So this is going to be a long vlog, but I hope you guys are enjoying it, learning so much from it. And just the reality that we face as people. We might be smiling and life is lifing us whichever way it is. But yeah, whatever. It is what it is. We shall overcome. So I had such a lovely gym session. I was working on my upper body this morning. I mean, just this afternoon now. And then just finished off with the incline. I'm just doing inclines all the time. And the treadmill, because great for weight loss. It's also great for muscle retention, apparently. And yeah, I enjoy it, as tough as it may be. So I went, well, my nephew came to bring, excuse the noise. My nephew came to bring my cheesecake. So the story about this cheesecake, you know, if you listen to 94.9, the one Anele and the club, yeah. Apparently there was a competition for the best cheesecake in Jozi, and then this company, wherever in Korode, they were one of those, and my sister has been so hooked since then. So every time she buys it, then she leaves me a piece as well. so spoiled. I'm gonna have that with my coffee, and then yeah, so let us close up the vlog here and this conversation about finances. How are my finances right now? Critical but stable. What I mean by that, you know, I really saw the effect this year, or felt the effect of inflation and the cost of living this year. You know, as someone who lives alone, you would think that it don't affect me so much, but it does, because you know, when you're buying more or less the same things, but you find that at the end of the day you have less at the end of the day money left. And for me, I must tell you, I'm a homebody, so I don't go out much. And like there's no much of a social interaction unless I'm invited out. I don't go out much to eat. Most of the time, if you do see me out to eat, I was invited, or I was on a date, that kind of thing. I think the last time I spent my own money going out was in April for my friend's birthday. Yeah, but otherwise I have not spent a cent. Thank God for all the dates. Then I get to eat nice food. And yeah, when I go out with my sister, if she invites me because maybe celebrating something or whatever. But that's how it's been. And the thing is with me, when I've got money, I love to spend it on taking people out. You know, whether I take my niece or nephew out and stuff. You know, that is something that I really enjoy. When it's somebody's birthday, that's how I love to spoil people. Besides getting them a gift, like spending time together in a beautiful restaurant, looking cute. I love that. So that way it is. So I'm definitely feeling, you know, the cost of living, even though I stay alone. That's the reality that we live in as people. So, you know, you try to, you know, keep it tight as much as you can. Find other ways to save money or make money. I mean, if I look at my expense, most of it is obviously my home and car. That takes a lot. I can't even think of the percentage, but it's the bulk of my income. Then I have, what do you call it? So, you know, at work you get provident funds. That's the word I was looking for in the beginning of the video, provident fund. So because there was a time that I didn't work, I'm trying to play catch up. Yes, my company still does the provident fund stuff for me. However, on the side, I have started saving for my retirement. So that's an extra cost. And there's insurance for car. There is funeral policies. In the past, I used to be like, you just save money. And when there's a time comes and you need to spend that on your loved ones, like we did with my sister many years ago when my mom passed away, we paid for the funeral from our own pocket in terms of savings. I look at it now, I'm like, yes, that worked because that time, but you know, when it comes to savings, you use it for whenever there is an emergency or you need something. So, and sometimes it's not always possible that you have that money for a funeral. So why not just go the funeral policy route, even though I was not always for it, but I see now that I'm older that it's the safest way to do life insurance as well, or life policy, whatever. So my money, that's where it is. Then comes, you know, my fiber. I mean, I cannot live without internet, and my internet is good. What else is there? Then my gym membership, and because I'm on Vitality, I basically just pay $190 per month. But I mean, I am paying a portion on Vitality, which has other benefits as well. So it's not like I'm spending that much money and everything. But when it comes to day to day, I am not living beyond my needs, you know, or my means. Not intentionally, that is, you know what I'm saying? I know, you know, that people know that they don't have money but still spend on XYZ. I'm not like that. I really try to be at home and just do my thing, you know, and everything. But I know sometimes it's just seasons, you know, and seasons change and things will be okay one day, and, you know, I'll be comfortable again, because I've had those seasons where I'm very comfortable. This season is a bit of a tight one, but luckily because we live below our means or within our means, we survive. Some months it's not survive. Some months you're like, whoa, I've got so much money, what happened? Other months you're like,